Okay. So the the path of spirituality is the ultimate way to convert ourselves. And first requirement for that is to realize the need to convert ourselves. Most of the times this need never arises. If the need does not arise, the rest of the equation also does not go any further. So the first requirement is that we have to realize that there is a need and the change has to happen within us. That is the first step. Until you buy the lottery ticket, God cannot give you the lottery money. It's a requirement that you have to take a step in that direction. But that step does not happen. And why it does not happen? That is the question. And that's the biggest mystery, that despite God being around everywhere, that we say, the learned people say is everywhere. How come we don't find him? How come we don't see him? The solution is for us to understand what's going on. And we deal with this on a day-to-day basis, but we just cannot learn enough from it. It's like it's our mind, our body is the sadhan that we're talking about, is equipped to run outside. The whole instrument that we have is designed to go further out, like a telescope. Telescope points to the outside. It looks to the galaxies, to the stars and the moon, but it cannot see our own eye. So our eye being behind the telescope, this instrument falls kind of short in giving us the insight. And we keep on running outside. And the outside, there is sansar, and sansar is basically business. In sansar, there is everything has a value. And this value can be exchanged. It used to be a barter system. You give me this, I give you this. Chicken is exchanged for a bag of grains or whatever. Then came the money, so everything got well defined. And then it still is a business. And those things are happening at the body level. So your physical body also is for sale. How good you look like, how tall you are, how short you are. Marriage marketplace, that's all is being talked about. कि रानी बेटी राज करेगी महलों का राजा मिला है. So ultimately we are not even talking about God anywhere. The God who's supposed to represent love, it does not exist in reality. And you think that okay, this was like it was in arranged marriage, but maybe not in the so-called love marriages. Think again, how good you look, how handsome you are, how cool you look when you're smoking or having a glass of beer or eyeglasses or sunglasses you're wearing, how handsome you look like Amitabh, and that's all there is. So if I am getting a good looking guy in exchange of me, it's fine. It's nothing more than a business. And in this business environment, which is nothing but sansar. So now the environment of business has been shifted up a little bit higher at the mind level. Mm-hmm. Now nobody's talking about, say, selling slavery or nothing is gone, is being tabooed.
It's indirect.
But it's still going on at the mind level. The mind has become a new rental space. There are a lot of companies ready to hire your space. So you like Häagen-Dazs, you like Budweiser, you like drugs, you like alcohol, you like people, you like idea of me being a Jain or a Hindu. All these entities outside are doing nothing but renting your mental space. So even though the whole thing has shifted at a higher level, it still is a business. And sansar is made out of business. So in business, obviously, you want to win. You want to get whatever you want to get at the minimum possible price you have to pay, so that you have maximum return that will last forever. Marriages are the best example, right? You want somebody who will live with you forever, and that for that you have to pay the least amount of price. And this is not just about the marriages. So everything is about So our equipment, the mind and the body, is equipped to find something that is interesting, that is fascinating. The old style video cameras were there. Now they are replaced with the iPhones. Now the iPhones may be gone, something else will come. So the sansar is ready to grab your attention. And in that, there are newer and newer things are coming. And all we are doing is running after them. It's like taking a child to a fair, Anand Mil, like fun fair. And the child wants everything. Whatever he sees has a color, is so mesmerizing. And he wants more and more of that. And he wants all of it. Even if he grabs every single thing that was available, he brings them home, and the next day, these are useless. Now he's looking for the next fair when the new innovations will be coming. We are not different than a child. We are heavy duty into the sansar. And sansar, of course, it promises you something, but also asks something in return. It wants your attention. It wants to grab your mind and your thoughts and your ideas and your beliefs, and then it makes you work. Ultimately, you keep on going whole life till you are dropped dead, and then sansar has no use for it. In this whole equation, your Atma never comes into the picture. Atma is not a tangible asset that can be sold. Atma is free. Atma is beyond your calculations. And that's why, if you look at it, Karl Marx, the father of communism, right? He created the whole philosophy on the equality, on the basis of what? Your mind and body has to be fulfilled. He totally disregarded the Atma. Atma does not exist. When it comes to communism, God does not exist. Atma does not exist. Then only he knew he could rule the people. So when the equation of Atma comes, then all equation is thrown off. Then communism cannot exist, because then Atma is the freedom. And when you trying to bring the freedom into the equation, you cannot be just told that you are all equal. You cannot be told, because Atma is different. And when the Atma is taken into equation, communism falls apart. That's where the democracy comes into the picture. Of course, there are abuses at the democratic level, corporations taking over, again, taking advantage of your rental space of the mind and the body. So then comes the next level of the socialism comes into the picture. But the socialism is also where everybody is equal. But there also the government is ruling and considering everybody is equal. But the true socialism cannot come unless the equality of Atma is realized. And equality of Atma cannot be realized unless the whole country is working at the Atma level. And the whole country cannot be at the Atma level until we bring meditation into the picture. Because nobody knows the Atma, because everybody's mind and the body are totally rented out to the products created by the corporations. So right now, all the corporations are doing is making profits out of your rental space, your mind and the body. So ultimately, the spirituality has to come into the action. So once through the spirituality, everybody starts becoming aware of their Atma, and the freedom of the Atma is realized, and the freedom from your choices, the realization. So we have Bahyakaran, which is our mind and the body, and we have Antakaran, our Chit, Buddhi, Manas, which are at a much higher level. The wisdom, this is also the instrument that can be used, and sadhana can be continued inward journey. And these are the instrument that comes into the picture. The wisdom comes into the action. And we are not really gonna be taken care of, and we are not being taken advantage of by the external factors, the sansar, which is really dictating us, making us slaves to their products, whether it's alcohol, or whether it's drugs, or iPads, or TV, the internet, or the philosophies of religious philosophies and beliefs. And the people who make these philosophies, they are sitting in the Washington sending their soldiers to fight. Oh, we believe in democracy because this country is a communist country, so that community, that country has to be squeezed out of the face of the earth, this and that. These are all the players on one side, another players on the other side. They're sending their people for jihad, and the fights go on, people die, and ultimately nobody wins. So the ideologies are also taking advantage of us. So ultimately, the solution comes in when we can go beyond the ideologies. And the way to go beyond the ideologies is to have the wisdom. The wisdom and what is laying behind, we don't know until we actually go within. And that's why the Atma comes into the action. But the Atma, the problem is our whole mental and the physical setup is geared towards doing something and getting something and achieving something, because whatever we try to achieve is far from us, and everything that is far looks good. But as the things keep coming closer, they lose the charm. How long can you keep on liking your new car? After a few months, it starts becoming old. The amount of money you have, first dollar that you made was so precious, but now millions of dollars come and go, has not the same value. Neighbor's wife looks better. Our own wife, nobody cares. Telescope is going outside. It's never looking at what you already have. So that's where the problem comes. So how come we all have Atma, but we don't see it? Because we already have it. The things that we are trying to achieve in Sansar, we don't have them. So they always look better. So we run and run and run. And we keep on running until we get tired. And the objects that we do gather, and they become part of our possessions, part of our ego, that I know this many people, I know this man, I have my parents, I have my family, they can back me up anytime until you get typhoid or die. And nobody can do anything about it. People give the false promises, don't worry about it, we'll stand by you. You get a heart attack and you die. They can't do anything. Your money cannot save you. Then what is left? So the question comes in, all the accumulations that you have done, what is the value of it? So the wisdom has to rise above that. What is the real value of what I have collected and what I've been putting in my pocket? In my pockets, I'm so proud of that. I'm so proud of so many friends I have, so many houses I have, so many cars I have. What is the value of it? And ultimate realization comes in. So that's where we don't care about Atma, only because we already have it. So we don't have to do anything to get it. And that's where the lack of challenge makes us rethink that if there is no challenge, it cannot be of any value. And that's why we never, it's like a fish will ask, where is the ocean? I don't believe it. Until the fish is taken out of the ocean and it's laying on the shore in the net of the fisherman, now it is twisting and turning and the ocean is not there. And that's when it realized the ocean was so precious. But the problem is, Atma, the consciousness, is everywhere. There is no shoreline that you can say that, okay, I'm taking you out of the Paramatma. Wherever you go, you cannot escape him. He is always there. And that's where the problem is. For a fish to realize that ocean was important, there is a shoreline where it has to live without the ocean. It realized the deficiency of ocean in its life. But the problem of the Atma, the consciousness, is infinite. It's everywhere. Wherever you go, it's everywhere. So there is no way to be without God. But you can forget about him, but you